Hey guys, welcome to another video from Back Garden Bushcraft. So it's pretty late, it's 6:30 and I've just rocked up at my woods. The road that I used to access the block of woods has been closed for the last good few hours, which has prevented me from getting here any earlier. And as you can see, absolutely pitch dark. So I've got a mate joining me in a minute, but for now I'm on my own. So my mission now, my tarp's already up. My mission now is to go and quickly get a fire going, and get things comfy and homely for when he arrives. And then when he does arrive, we'll get some food on. But yeah, it's been a really wet day. Everything's boggy. It's very, very wet underfoot. But yeah, happy to be out once again, even if it's a bit later than planned. But yeah, right, let's get at it. So guys, as you can see, I've collected a bit of firewood. It's not quite enough, I need to get a little bit more, but it will do as a start, and the fire is warming me up. Got some nice coals there, and it's burning nicely, despite the rain, which has come in again. That sounds to me like the engine of a Land Rover Defender. I say, old bean.
Well, I say, old chap.
You dropped in behind enemy lines.
I did indeed. Thank you for your coordinates.
Let's get yourself to the camp, mate.
Roger that, old chap.
So, I'm sure you guys all know, but this is Steve from the Steak Detective. We've been good friends for a while, so thought I'd get him dropping in and visiting Webwood. So,
much obliged, old
come
chap.
on in, old boy.
Thanks awfully.
Well, Steak Detective certainly brought the weather with him. It was raining before he arrived, and now it's absolutely belting down.
It's like a scene from the song, old chap.
It really is. Like, just as we got all this kit out of the car, just the heavens opened. So we're gonna take cover from Jerry and then let the worst pass. I think it's time for a cider though, mate.
It sounds good to me, old chap. We've got aspals here, look, behind enemy lines.
Oh, that's the stuff, mate.
And we bloody well don't care who knows it, do we, Tom?
We do not. Right, we're gonna crack into these guys. So I think cider's on the menu. We both brought enough to feed a small army. But yes, this is definitely the the stuff. Cheers, old boy.
Cheers, old chap.
When I drink cider, my arse gets wider. And when my arse gets wider, I smell, and people give me money to go away. And with that money, I buy cider. Oh, it's good to catch up with you, mate.
Good to catch up with you too, Tom. Cheers, mate. Cracking woodland.
Yeah. Damp woodland. We were just saying, if you only went out when it was dry, you'd miss out on so many good opportunities to camp.
You would.
So,
you would.
even if it's pissing it down, still get out there.
We are dug in behind enemy lines.
We're just sheltering under a tarp, fire going, rain hammering on our doorstep. Love it.
Lucky Tom had a wheelbarrow so I could cart my 3 tons of gear that I dropped in by Chinook helicopter.
Absolutely. We got the woodland management wheelbarrow out of stores and helped him cart his barracks down. What we got there, old chap?
Well, we have a little bit of good night, sweetheart. See you in the morning.
Beef up, old chap. So it's rather coming down, so I'm just going to tip some of this. It would eventually go to the end, but I'm just going to get rid of it anyway. There we go. A little bit damp, old boy.
It's a bit damp, isn't it, old chap? These are the poles for a US pup tent, World War II, 1943.
Nice. So these are actual poles from 1943.
From 1943.
So
It's stamped with the guy's name on.
that's amazing. So Steve's obviously a real history enthusiast, and he's got a proper World War II American military pup tent. So we're going to set this up. We've got a little break in the weather, and we're going to try and get his shelter up.
We are indeed, old chap. Don't want to lose that.
So I've just knocked up a couple of quick bushcraft tent pegs. The pup tent was short, just 2 pegs. So just quickly grabbed a stick and whittled these up. Little bird beak notches. But yeah, when you know basic bushcraft carving techniques, even if you're short of things like tent pegs, you can make do. So that's a really nice shelter you got there.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's waterproof.
We'll soon find out.
Cozy.
Cosy, old chap. You know, cosy behind enemy lines.
Nice raised bed there, that looks amazing. Is that World War II as well?
I think it is. I think this is, yeah. Because this is the low profile one.
Yeah.
But I've also got one of those high raised ones as well. American and British. I need to give a bit of a test out. But
Looks
yeah.
cozy to me, mate.
So, you know.
So we're just having a little bit of a sort out of kit. We've got the
normally.
world's biggest steak. Steve ordered a steak for 4 for 2 of us. And then he's been showing me, because he got a couple of my spoons when I was selling them. So he's still got my butter knife, still going strong. And he's got one of my spoons there as well. It's been well used.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see that things I've made have been used by other people and enjoyed as well. So
Yeah, beautifully well made. They are just well crafted, mate.
love to see a pipe in your possibles pouch as well,
Yeah.
my friend.
There we go.
You'll be joining me for a bowl later.
A bowl. Yeah, old chap, love it.
So Steve's just lit a candle for Bill. I talked about Bill Kincaid, absolute legend, lovely man, the other day on a video. And today was his funeral, and neither me or Steve could actually make it, sadly. But we know Bill would be here in spirit with us. We know that he'd like to be out in the woods with us. So Steve's lit this candle as a little bit of a tribute. And yeah, we know that he's out here camping with us in spirit, mate.
So it's courgettes, it's mushrooms, and it's a couple of big knobs of butter.
Well,
reduce that down, and we get some spinach in there, bit of creme fraiche. There's the creme fraiche. And we stick that in there at the end, make a nice sauce and ragu, like a woodland sauce to go with the steak.
Sounds delicious.
We got English mustard, Monty's, and we got damn smashing barbecue sauce to serve it with.
Lovely. Oh. Steve has seriously rubbed that meat with some lovely spices, which are not yet to be revealed.
That's a secret, old chap.
Look at that dry-aged beef.
Rub steak.
Oh, I'm actually salivating just looking at it. I reckon they're going to take my video down for food porn. Is it going to fit in the pan?
Yeah, got the moulder.
Well, you've done us proud with that bit of meat, mate.
Well, I thought we'd need a good old slab of meat behind enemy lines, old chap.
Well, you've certainly managed that. It's half a cow. Steve's creamed spinach with mushrooms and what was the other thing?
Courgette.
Courgette. Oh, looks great, mate. And then obviously the main event is this kilogram plus of just beefy goodness. It's literally a cow's bottom, isn't it?
It is. When people say you can't hit a cow's arse with a banjo, I think we could.
So, Steak Detective living up to his name. We've got a huge bit of beef resting there on his chopping board. I'm ready to beef up, old chap. Yeah, it's a little bit muddy here. Boggsville, USA. Dinner is served. That is only a very, very small portion of the 1.4 kilograms of beef that we have. The weather is well and truly set in, but we've got lovely rump steak, a load of it, creamed spinach, Monty's mustard, and the Dam Busters barbecue sauce from the Steak Detective. So this is looking mighty fine, smelling amazing, and we're going to tuck into this together, huddling under my tarp as the rain pours down and turns my woodland into a bog. I'm being really properly spoilt. Steve's brought up some of his Sweet Peggy's hot chocolate, made in Blighty, don't you know? And this is going to go down an absolute treat. It's actually really late. We've just been having an absolute laugh under the tarp. The woods has just turned into a bog because of the amount of rain that's come down in the last couple of hours. So we've just been huddling under the tarp, just telling funny stories, and it's been really, really good fun. So I think we're going to finish off with this hot chocolate before bed, and enjoy a few more campfire stories before turning in for the night. So this ain't no normal hot chocolate. Look at that, guys. It's literally just flakes of chocolate goodness. We're going to add this to some full fat milk, heated up slowly over the fire. And the fact that it's 2 o'clock in the morning already means this is going to go down really well. Thank you very much, mate. Steve's just headed off to his pup tent. We've just had such a good laugh. Like, even though the weather's awful, it really doesn't matter. Like, you can still have such a good time. And we were saying it's just created more stories. The fact that we're wading in deep mud at the moment. But yeah, it's really been a lovely evening with Steve. Some brilliant food, some nice campfire stories. We lit a candle for Bill as well, so we're going to let that burn through the night. And yeah, we're both going to get some sleep now. It's pretty late. It's like gone 2. So yeah, we're going to get in our sleeping bags do a bit of personal admin and stuff, and then we're going to have a bit of a lay-in tomorrow. Get up and cook some more meat, I think is the plan. So I'll bring you guys back in the morning. Hope you've enjoyed tonight. It's been a fun night for us. Hopefully you've enjoyed tagging along. And I'll see you then. I'll see you after a bit of Z's, a bit of sleep, and hopefully the weather might have cleared up a little bit by then, but if not, we'll deal with it and it will be fine. Alright guys, see you in the morning. Good night. So guys, this is a first for me. I've been in a lot of very wet camps and I've never had this happen. But what's happened is the woodland is on a slope, so there's no way of camping here without being downhill, because the highest point is the entrance of the woodland, so water will always travel downhill, and then the soil is clay, and when it reaches saturation point, the topsoil just can't handle any more water. Now it's been absolutely hammering it down for the whole week, every night basically, and it's been getting wetter and wetter, and then since Steve arrived it's just done nothing but tip it down, and this is the entire woodland is like this now, where there's no more it's just clay, so there's nowhere for the water to go. You can see it's just sitting on top of that clay, and this is actually underneath my ground sheet, which is waterproof, but the water is just travelling completely downhill, so everywhere I look there's just water. So outside my tarp and here, and yeah, some of my stuff is getting quite wet. Like my reindeer hide here was over the edge where the water's just accumulated on my ground sheet, so my reindeer hide's a little bit Sogsville, but I mean, I did wonder if this would happen if the rain was heavy enough. This is the state of the ground outside my tarp. So yeah, to say it's been raining is a bit of an understatement. Anyway guys, you don't learn by things going right 100% of the time. I've camped under tarps for hundreds and hundreds of nights now, and I've never once had this happen before, so this is a new one for me, and it's quite funny, it's quite amusing. But yeah, I'm amazed at how the water is just sitting on top of that clay. It's just running down. Like the topsoil has just turned to bog, and it's just running downhill. And obviously, everywhere that isn't the entrance of the woodland is downhill. So yeah, and where there are no leaves really, because it's been compacted where we've walked, it's just a big mudslide basically. So I wonder how Steve's getting on in his military shelter, but I'll find out in the morning, unless he's been washed off King and Country. Yeah. Alright guys, I'm going to try and get a bit more sleep, but as I say, I'm completely dry, sleeping bag's dry. The corner of my reindeer hide got pretty sodden, so I'm just going to not sit on that bit, but everything else is okay. I've moved the rifles, because we both got our air rifles under here. I've moved them up onto high ground, and yeah, hopefully the rain stops soon, because I feel sorry for my poor woodland. It's absolutely saturated. Alright guys, I'll see you in a few hours. Now, things can't go perfectly every time, but at least no one can accuse me of being a fair weather camper. Absolutely biblical. Well guys, it's gone back to being as heavy as it was last night when we were trying to sleep. Don't know if you can even hear me over the rain. But throughout all this, Bill's candle is still burning, which I think is really quite amazing and quite special. Well guys, the situation is pretty dire. It's basically become a waterbed. Hundreds of nights under a tarp, and never once have I ever had anything like this happen. Well guys, I have never experienced rain like this. So just to show you that it's not necessarily where I placed my tarp, although it is downhill. Everywhere here is downhill, as you can see, slopes on down, but everywhere, even the flatter areas, are just under an inch of water. Now I'm actually in my boxer shorts right now, just walking around the woods because, well, my Fjällräven's got wet. You can see it's just rivers. There's just rivers running down the woods everywhere you look. Look, inch deep water, literally everywhere you look. And I've never seen rain like this. I mean, obviously I've camped in a lot of wet, but the fact that every night this week we've had biblical rain and it's just not stopping, it's not letting up at all. Now, I'm not one for changing my plans, but I think at this point there's not very much we can do here. I mean, we can move shelters and things like that, and then I don't have a fire pit, so I can't dry anything out other than where the fire pit's at, because I don't want to make another one unless I absolutely have to. So yeah, we're gonna sort a few bits out and then have a little rethink, I think. I do apologise about the bare legs. Here's another bit. Again, the whole thing is downhill. So I knew that rain runoff would be an issue here, but I think the beauty of this woodland makes up for that, because it doesn't rain this much very often. And hey, I get to splash in puddles like a little child, which is quite fun. So over here is the seasonal stream. Now, I have never ever seen water in it. Now look at it. It is gushing. So this is normally dry as a bone, and it is just a proper stream now. So Steve's shelter also got quite a lot of rain coming underneath. As you can see, it's coming out the bottom, but luckily for him he had the raised bed, so he was off the ground. But yeah, I mean, the thing is you learn from experiences like that. If things went perfectly every time, then you would never learn. So I like camps like this for that reason. Well guys, we've got a little break in the weather. Pretty much everything's soaked. The entire woodland has just become a river. So you can see there's not normally streams here, but literally even the flattest spots are just full of puddles. And yeah, the high point is the road and the entrance to the woods. So with the amount of rain we had last night, it's just one of those things. But yeah, sleeping bag survived getting wet until I tried to get up at about 8:30. Everything else, reindeer hide soaked. A thermarest managed to do pretty well. That's still pretty dry, but everything else very wet. So we've decided to call it while we have a gap in the weather, we could cook dinner, but at the end of the we could cook some breakfast, but at the end of the day that's just being a martyr and not listening to what the weather is telling us. Pride can be a downfall sometimes, and I think it's got to the point where we're both wet, and our kits are wet, mine especially, and there's no point of cooking breakfast because it's going to just start pouring with rain again in about an hour. So we've got about 60 minutes to take down everything, get the landy out, hopefully, up that slope, and yeah, be gone. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, despite it not being quite what we planned, despite it going a little bit south due to the weather, but it was pretty epic. We had a great laugh, and we were both just sort of in our shelters giggling at the situation, which is the best way to be. You've got to see the funny side in these things and learn from them. I've certainly learnt a few things, and yeah, just take the rough with the smooth, because it's all part of being outside. The conditions are not always favourable, that's just the way it goes. So little update, so we've both packed up, and we've decided we're going to go to a local breakfast place that I've been to before. Nice. And grab a full English. I think that's the best course of action. We've also done some discovering, and we found that there's an outlet pipe where all the runoff from the farmer's field is basically running downhill in a straight path towards the camp. So at least we know where some of the magnitude of waters come from.
Yes. We need a very large cork, you see.
Yes, a very, very large cork. Bung up Jerry.
Let it back up behind enemy lines.
Exactly. Called a dam buster. But no, we've had a lovely time, and a massive thanks to Steve for coming down, and also for cooking such an amazing steak last night. It just shows that even in terrible weather, even when things don't go according to plan, because I certainly didn't intend to set up in the middle of a swimming pool, but it happens, and it happens to all of us, and it's just about learning from it and laughing with it as well, because it's just a funny story now, and I probably will tell this story on the Woadsman in the future, and no doubt we'll have Steve on there again, and we can both be laughing about it there.
Right, old chap.
Anyway, go check out Steve, go check out the Steak Detective. I'll put links and stuff in the description, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in another, hopefully drier video soon. Alright guys, stay safe. So guys, there's the outlet pipe. It comes straight off the field and goes in there, then that travels down here and spreads out, and then literally just follows a trail through the woods to where we were camping. So I did know the outlet pipe was there, but it's never had any water in it, so it's always learning, and that's pretty funny as well. He's like, hey, I've solved my problem about drainage. I'm alright. Anyway guys, I'll leave it there. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, stay dry.